So Donald Trump and his goons want to turn everything into a big reality show where essentially we're all attacking each other. And at the end of the show, there's only a very few winners and pretty much everyone else loses. That's about today's video. And I want to go through and show you guys the real cost of what Trump is up to.
Well, as the Trump administration accelerates its immigration agenda, ICE is hiring. And they're offering some sweet perks: a $50,000 signing bonus, student loan repayment and forgiveness options, and enhanced retirement benefits, to name a few. President Trump posting this on Truth Social. Our brave ICE law enforcement agents are getting the worst of the worst criminals out of our country: terrorists, pedophiles, MS-13 gang members.
So essentially, Trump is carrying out a blitzkrieg on America, and they're hiring. But I want to show you what's really happening on the ground. This is a headline just come out today. ICE detains a Marine Corps veteran's wife who was still breastfeeding their 3-month-old. Have a listen to this.
Marine Corps veteran Adrian Cluot didn't expect to be caring for his 2 young children all on his own.
How are you guys doing?
My son misses his mom a lot. It's actually gotten worse in the past couple of days. He's constantly asking me for her and just having like little breakdowns.
After immigration authorities detained his wife Paula at a green card interview in New Orleans.
I was devastated. I was angry, upset.
The couple shares a 2-year-old son and a 3-month-old daughter.
We switched to the formula. She does get to breastfeed twice a week when I go to visit my wife.
Cluot says his wife came to the U.S. from Mexico as a teenager with her now estranged mother. He says she was detained because of a deportation order issued in 2018.
My wife was living in a homeless shelter in Indio, California, when this all went down. Her mom skipped the appointment. The judge, by default, issued a removal order for my wife, her mother, and her brother. And she was never notified of it. Like, she had no way of knowing.
Cluot says his family was trying to do the right thing and obey the law by still going to the green card interview.
The interviewer went and talked to his supervisor, and it came back, told us that we did well and to wait in the lobby for paperwork regarding our next appointment. And then, the 3 ICE agents showed up and arrested my wife.
Cluot taking his wife's wedding ring for safekeeping as he says she was handcuffed and led away.
And so that's Donald Trump's America. This is also happening here. Ohio man charged with threatening to kill a member of Congress over Medicaid cuts, as Trump is affecting real people's lives. I guess this person called in and left a voicemail. I'll read the voicemail. If you vote to take my F Medicaid away, I'm going to cut your F head off, the caller said, according to a transcript of a message from the FBI. You're an embarrassment and a bag of S as a man, and I can't stand you. The caller is alleged to have added, so F the hell off, but I tell you this clearly to your brain. If you F with my Medicaid, you're a dead F. And I'm showing you guys this stuff because the effects that Trump is having on real people's lives is devastating, right? You're talking about arresting people's wives, spouses, and she was breastfeeding at the time. You're talking about taking people's health care away. What do you think is going to happen? And right, that's what I was saying. This whole thing is effectively like a Squid Game, Hunger Games thing, where we're all going to be attacking each other for very few resources. That's what the Trump people want. It's frustrating. It's upsetting. I want you to know, though, that you're not alone if you're upset about this stuff too. And there are people who are trying to push back.
It is no secret, I think, to anyone that the American healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, and it is cruel. Today, we have 85 million Americans in the wealthiest country on earth who are uninsured or underinsured. 1 out of 4 Americans cannot afford to fill the prescriptions that their doctors prescribe. Our life expectancy is significantly lower than other wealthy nations. Some 60,000 Americans die each year because they can't afford to get to a doctor on time. And in fact, we don't have enough doctors, nurses, dentists, and other healthcare professionals. Meanwhile, because of the greed of the insurance companies and the drug companies, we are spending far, far more per person on healthcare than the people of any other country. We are now over $14,000 for every man, woman, and child, which is an insane number and totally unsustainable.
And I'm sure you guys know this, right? Our system is completely broken. It's expensive. It doesn't fulfill the needs of regular everyday Americans. There's a whole bunch of people that are really hurting out there. And the thing that is so bothersome is people like a Trump, if I want to talk about Elon Musk, etc. These are people who don't have any idea on regular people's lives. And then they just go off and say, guys, you know, you're all going to be rich because of AI and crypto, as if that makes any sense. It doesn't make sense. It's all smoke and mirrors. And, you know, this week they're promising people, hey, we're going to give you rebate checks of $200, you know, whilst they're cutting your health care, cutting your education, cutting your transportation. They're deporting your spouses, right? People's moms. I just really wanted to show you guys today the real human cost of this stuff. And just to understand that if you're upset, outraged, you're not alone. I mean, other people can see it also. And what we have to do is just educate people, you know. You don't have to be alone in this fight.
So what we have is a crisis in healthcare, and Trump's big, horrific bill will make that crisis much worse. It will throw 15 million Americans off of the health care they presently have. So instead of providing health care to all people, throwing 15 million people off of health care, it will raise insurance premiums for millions of people all over the country, already paying sky-high prices. It could well cause the closure of many rural hospitals and community health centers all across our country, all of whom are significantly dependent on Medicaid funding.
And what Bernie's referring to earlier was life expectancy. So I want to show you guys this if you've never looked at these charts before. This is sort of, you know, various countries around the world and ranked in terms of, you know, how long we live. So the most would be something like a Hong Kong, age, you know, 85 would be life expectancy average. Take a look at Italy, 84. We're here in Korea, so that'd be 84 also. France, about 83. Iceland, 83. Canada, right? About 82, 83. That's a life expectancy. You take a look at something like USA, it's 79. So if you're American and you just go to Canada, for example, you could add roughly 2-3 years to your life, right? This number right here, I mean, these numbers to show you something's wrong and broken in our system. And I point this stuff out to you because there are other ways to do things. There are other ways to live. There are other ways to help people. This is why, if you're curious and, you know, in the USA and you're like, why do we talk about Australia? Why do we talk about Korea? Because I show you guys other perspectives from around the world. Because, you know, in some places, like we use Australia, for example, food is really important to them, right? Same here in Korea. Food is really important to people here. Like healthy food is really important. So we don't necessarily want to take unhealthy food or unhealthy products, not just the food, you know, be it your unhealthy and unsafe cars. You know, we want to protect just regular people. And something that I learned when I was young, and I've carried with me through my entire life, is you'll know the heart of someone by how they treat the most vulnerable of us or the least of us. And this is something that in USA, it's all about, you know, competition and race to get as much money as we possibly can. And it's a big game show. These days, they now want to privatize Social Security. That's been the talk from Besant. Trump's
We want you to understand it. We want, you know, it's almost like, you know, if you get a pet, you understand everything about your pet. You know, like so if you have these accounts, like, why are you investing it this way? How are you doing it? How can you understand the power of compound interest? And also, at the end of the day, that, you know, I'm not sure when the distribution level date should be. Whether should it be 30 and you can buy a house? Should it be 60? But in a way, it is a backdoor for privatizing Social Security. Like, Social Security is a defined benefit plan paid out that, you know, to the extent that, you know, if all of a sudden these accounts grow and you have in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for your retirement, then that's a game changer.
And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to prop up their risky investments, be it crypto or whatever nonsense, by trying to go after your Social Security. It's something I've been warning you guys about. This is the kind of stuff that, in my opinion, is the most important things to people's lives. Your health care, your family, right? Your retirement. I wish we would talk about more of this stuff. I know on other channels and all the media these days is all Epstein this, Epstein that. And I get that. If you want to watch that, that's fine. But I honestly think your job, your money, this kind of stuff, like stuff that affects your daily life is extremely important, and don't ignore these things. This is what Scott Bessent was writing just yesterday after he's talking about, hey, we need to privatize Social Security. It's a backdoor to that. And then he's saying, this is an opinion piece by him, the roadmap to making America a crypto superpower, right? Trump administration is making America the crypto capital of the world. Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, innovation defines the American spirit, but it requires balanced, forward-looking regulation to thrive, right? And so they've been changing the laws to, again, they're going after retirement. They want to throw it all into their Mickey Mouse coins. They also want to change the rules on your 401ks so that it can go into private equity. So again, they can put it into their risky things. This is where we're heading. And I know when I make these kind of videos about money or healthcare, stuff like that, it's not that popular. I know everyone wants to talk about the Epstein stuff, but this is how they fool you all the time. They get you focusing on whatever nonsense drama, and they get you thinking that the only way to survive is, hey, get a job at ICE and you're going to be better, right? And it goes back to that whole Squid Game thing. There's another one. Trump administration axes Biden era barrier for crypto and 401k plans, right? It's like, oh, I hate that Biden. He doesn't want us to gamble with our 401k, but Trump, he wants you to gamble, right? Because remember, Trump is a casino guy who went bankrupt with casinos. So great, fantastic. And I made videos on this stuff before. I just mentioned again, if you haven't seen stuff already, you'll see more why I think this stuff is risky and dangerous. So please be safe out there, be careful, and I'll catch you on the next video.